So here we are, after many months of delaying it, I'm finally going to explain how I hunted Eevee and Metapod, as well as how I'm currently hunting Growlithe. I'll be explaining exactly what I do for both people that are interested in just watching, and people that would like to follow along and do one of these hunts themselves. Let's not waste any time at all, and set our options to fast, off and set. In the starting cutscene, you can name yourself anything, but your rival must have the name shown here. When we finally gain control of our character, we're going to need to get the PC potion. In the lab, we have to pick Bulbasaur as it's the quickest for this route. The route that I'm using is based off the beginning of the old route of the Catch 'em All speedrun for this game. It is not only one of the quickest methods to get to the Underflow, but it is also fairly easy for the most part. Next, we need to win the rival fight, as we would otherwise lose out on important experience points and money. As you go up and down Route 1, you need to kill some wild Pokemon to get to level 7. Rattatas are easiest to kill, and it only takes 2 of them to get to level 7. We need level 7 because we need Leech Seed to set up the first glitch in the run, but we'll get to that later. For now, we'll be going through the game fairly normally, so I'll be making a few cuts to speed up the video. When we get to Viridian for the second time, don't go to the Pokemon Center, just go to the mart and buy a Paralyze Heal and 8 Pokeballs. Get the third free potion and make your way to the forest. There's a lot we need to do here. So on the right you can see everything we need. As long as you're smart, this is all pretty easy to do. Go into the grass here to avoid the trainers. Hitting a trainer here would throw off the money count and ruin everything. We need to be in the grass anyway, as we need to catch a Caterpie or a Weedle. It doesn't matter here if you catch the Caterpie before or after the Weedle fight coming up. You just need to get it before leaving. Going through the entire forest without getting an encounter is fairly normal, as this place actually has the lowest encounter rate in the game. Pretty ironic that the same location has the highest spawn rate in the Let's Go games. At some point in the Weedle fight, you need to swap your moves around, putting Leech Seed in slot 1, Tackle in slot 2, and Growl in slot 3. This is set up for the glitch coming up. Now that we're at the end of the forest, now is the time to catch Caterpie if you haven't already, and you can also use the other wild Pokemon to get your moves to the correct PP shown on the right, 36 Growls and 16 Tackles. Metapods are ideal for this, as they can take a lot of hits, so just random encounter until you find one of them. This is what your Bulbasaur should look like. If it does, it's time to enter Pewter, and do not go to the Pokemon Center. Instead, we need to go to the east of the city to do the first glitch of the run. I'll let the text do the talking here, as it's pretty self-explanatory. We now have successfully skipped Brock, however we are not yet done with this glitch. Walk to Route 3, then walk back to make the man reappear. You now need to put Bulbasaur in slot 2, then talk to the man from the right. If everything has been set up correctly, you'll now be able to walk through walls. You now need to follow the path I took very closely, as going too far out of bounds can delete your save file. If you stop moving at any point, the menu will appear, but this doesn't matter, just close it and keep walking the way I do. At this point, my controller freaked out, but just walk downwards once you're one tile to the left of the lady here. Keep going down through the Saffron Desert until you see the Pokemon Center. This marks the end of our walking through walls career. Once inside, heal to set our teleport location. We're going to be getting an Abra shortly, as it's the only way we'll be able to get back in here. To get our Abra, we need to head to Celadon, get the coin case, and 120 coins to buy one from the game corner. Thankfully, the inhabitants of Celadon are kind and give us enough money for Abra. Teleport back to Saffron. We can now do the trainer fly glitch. To speed up the process a lot, we for now only need Abra. Once you've deposited the Bulbasaur and Caterpie, get the TM29 for Psychic in the house to the east, and check that your inventory is the same as mine here. The potion and Pokeball count may differ depending on how many balls it took you to catch the Caterpie, and how many potions you had to use. Here's the trainer we'll be using to perform the trainer fly glitch. Save now in case you fail. From the right, walk towards the trainer and start holding the menu button mid-step. If the menu appears, wonderful, teleport away from the trainer. If you failed, just reset and try again. Upon landing, you won't be able to open the menu, but this doesn't actually matter as we don't actually need it. Go to the north of the city and enter the dojo. In the dojo, go left around the statue and let the first trainer see you. It's important to go around the left as going straight on would softlock the game.
Lose.
Upon revival, immediately flash your menu up, before heading to Route 6. If everything's right, Missing No should appear. Run away from the Missing No and head back to the trainer. We need to do the trainer fly glitch again. Also, don't run into the grass like me. Also, before doing the glitch this time, you need to toss 2 of the TM29s as this means we will be getting a clean 255 of them by the end of the process. Like last time, go to the dojo, go left around the statue, and lose again. Once again, don't forget to open the menu before going to Missing No on the entry to Route 6. Now that we have 255 TM29s, we're going to go to the Celadon Mart and buy a lot of things. This is also the location where we will make the Item Underflow open up to us. We will start on floor 2, and before doing anything here, you will want to save, as this part is very easy to mess up. Before we actually sell or buy anything, put the Paralyze Heal in slot 1, the Pokeballs in slot 2, and the TM29s in slot 3. I'm going to stop speaking here, as the text on the right hand side will be easier to follow while shopping. If you finish the section with 4915 money and your inventory is identical to mine, then you can save the game because coming up is another part that's easy to mess up. However, before we actually open up the Underflow, it is crucial to actually know what it can do. In the description, I've linked a fantastic video that teaches you everything you need to know about the Underflow. Only then you should continue watching this video. I hope you enjoyed that video. Now, standing here, toss all of your Pokeballs, and then you're going to have to toss all 255 of your top stack of TM29s 17 times in a row. After the 17th time, you now have to toss 253 of them, so you have just 2 left. After this, merge the 2 TMs with the 255 TMs, and then do the same again to get 0. There's a lot of item swaps here, so just read the text. Note here that this may be difficult to see due to the glitchiness of the items. After that's all done, just teleport out. In the Center's PC, I'm going to set up a similar underflow. As there's a lot of item management here, I'll once again be leaving it to the text on the right. But first, pick up Caterpie and deposit the Abra. Now, we need to cycle to a specific location to do yet more item management. After tossing 8 firestones, close the menu and cycle to the left to find a trainer, start the battle and die to the mighty Slowpoke. Upon revival, get on your bike and cycle to the route to the east and you'll find a Mew there waiting for you. Master Ball it and we're almost at the point where the route splits. At this point, it is a necessity to save the game. There's one more thing we need to do before the route splits. Teach Fly to Mew. Go into the Pokemon Center and find the 10 Master Balls in the Underflow. While scrolling down to them, you may need to press B once, if the scroll gets stuck. Once you've found the 10 Master Balls, toss 5 of them and exit the building. We are now at Vermilion. To teach Fly, we will have to walk to Diglett's cave. In Diglett's cave, just scroll downwards and you will find HMO2 relatively quickly. After teaching Fly to Mew, go down until you reach the question mark item and swap it with one of your stones in your regular inventory. This question mark item can be used for surfing, even if we don't have the badge. Once you've done that, step outside and save the game. The hardest parts of the setup are done, and it's time for the route to split. So you've chosen Eevee, fantastic. This is the easiest of the 3 to set up, as well as having the quickest encounters. First things first, fly to Viridian. Make your way to Viridian Forest. We are going to use the warping slot of our Underflow to go to Cinnabar Island. In the hut, find the 13 J items and toss 5 of them. Leave the hut, then immediately fly to Cinnabar Island. Go into the Pokemon Center and deposit Caterpie. When we get outside, we are going to use the text pointer slot of our Underflow menu to make a sign give us an unlimited amount of Eevees. Standing in this location here, we are going to swap our rare candies with the bicycle, as the rare candies are the only items that we will actually need during the hunt. Now, we need to put the 93 Pokédolls in the text pointer slot of the Underflow menu, and we do this by swapping them with the item called 44YPC. Be very careful with this item, as simply pressing A on it will delete your save file. Now, talk to this sign 22 times to fill up your PC box. When your box is full, move one tile to the right and swap the Pokédolls back with 44YPC. Then, go back to the Pokemon Center. Release 5 of the Eevees in the PC, then deposit the 5 of them that are in your party. The box should now be full, and you should go outside again. Stand back here again and swap the Pokédolls with 44YPC for the last time before starting the hunt. All you need to do from here is stand one tile north of the sign here and save the game. You are now ready to hunt. I've put the shiny stats for level 25, level 30 and level 50 all in the description, so here is an example encounter. Once you've gotten the shiny, we still have a bit of a problem, being that we still have 44YPC in our regular inventory. Swap it with the 93 Pokédolls, and now you are safe. Save the game. Now it's time to trade it to Gen 2. Up next, Metapod. First thing you have to do is fly to Pewter City and go inside the Pokemon Center. For this hunt, we only need Mew, so deposit Caterpie. After this, talk to the healing lady so we can respawn here later when we do a death walk. Go outside and stand in the location stand here, as this tile is the place we can obtain the glitch item called Trade Center. Put your Master Balls in slot 1 and Waterstones in slot 2. Now we are going to sacrifice our Waterstone and swap it with the Trade Center item to put it into slot 2 of our regular inventory. Before closing the menu, scroll up 4 times to find the warping slot of your Underflow menu. This should be either 2 J items or 2 Master Balls. Close the menu with the cursor over this slot. Then, make your way to the hut before entering Viridian Forest. When you open the menu, you should see 13 Master Balls. Toss 4 of them, then leave the hut. Now that we're out of the Pokemon League, we need to get to Moltres, who lives in Victory Road. Go south and enter the cave. We're about to use the item cancel, which can allow us to go through walls that are up to 2 tiles thick. The way that it works is that it locks the direction you are looking, and if there's an empty space in that direction, you can move any direction, even through walls. Save before moving anywhere, as the wild Pokemon will find it relatively easy to destroy you. I got lucky here and fled from the Geodude successfully. This item can be pretty tricky to use effectively, so I've put the inputs on the right hand side. In addition, make sure to avoid the trainer. Now that we're next to Moltres, save the game and it's time for our first encounter. The reset starts off with you dying to Moltres. The reason we do this is because the Metapod that appears from the Trade Center item has its level set to the same level of the last Pokemon you fought. Every soft reset, this value gets set to 0, so we need to talk to Moltres each time. When you respawn in Pewter City, move 4 tiles down and 4 tiles right, open your item menu and use Trade Center. A Metapod will appear. Strangely, this fight has the gym leader music. Stranger still, you don't send out a Pokemon. When you go to your items when you try to catch the Metapod, the game automatically uses your top item, which should be the Master Balls. My guess on why this happens is because the absence of a Pokemon makes the game think you're in the catching tutorial. After catching the first Metapod, use the Trade Center again 4 more times to get 4 more Metapods. Once you've caught all 5, check the stats. The shiny stats can be found in the description below. If the stats match up, congratulations, save, and then it's time to trade to Gen 2. However, as a word of warning, don't use the Trade Center ever again, as in some locations it can actually delete your save file. Alright then, time for Growlithe. At the time of upload, the floor is still up for grabs, so good choice. To start things off, fly to Viridian. Make your way up to the hut before Viridian Forest, as we can use this place to warp to some other locations. Standing on the door set, find the 13 J items and toss 4 of them. After closing the menu, leave the hut and you'll find yourself in a glitched area. This is a glitched version of the Pokemon League, so we need to fly to the real one. Step inside and toss one Master Ball. Upon leaving the building, you should appear at Cinnabar Island. We only need to do two things here before heading back to the Pokemon League. First, heal at the centre to set our Death Warp location, and then deposit Caterpie. Now, fly back to the Pokemon League. Now that we're out of the Pokemon League, we need to get to Moltres, who lives in Victory Road. Go south and enter the cave. We're about to use the item Cancel, which can allow us to go through walls that are up to 2 tiles thick. The way that it works is that it locks the direction you are looking, and if there's an empty space in that direction, you can move any direction, even through walls. This item can be pretty tricky to use effectively, so I've put the inputs on the right hand side. If you run into any wild Pokemon in the cave, you can use a Pokédoll, as we only need 55 for the hunt we're about to start. Now that we're at Moltres, we need to sort out our inventory a bit. Put your Master Balls in slot 1, the Bicycle in slot 2, and put the Pokédolls in slot 3. Then, toss the right amount of Pokédolls that gives you 55, as this is the correct value we need for the text pointer slot. Now, save the game and it's time for the first encounter. The reset starts off with you dying to Moltres. The reason we do this is because the Growlithe that appears from talking to the woman has its level set to the same level of the last Pokemon you fought. Every soft reset, this value gets set to 0, so we need to talk to Moltres each time. When you are revived on Cinnabar Island, get on the bicycle and stand on this tile here. Swap the 55 Pokédolls with the item called 44YPC. This item is very dangerous and will delete your save file if you use it, so whatever you do, don't zone out and press A instead of select. You have to make the swap every encounter, which can be tedious at first. After this swap, talk to the woman directly to the left, close her text boxes with the B button and a Growlithe will appear. Strangely, this fight has the gym leader music. Stranger still, you don't send out a Pokemon. Open your item menu and the Master Ball will automatically be used for you. It is then you check the stats. The shiny stats can be found in the description. If you accidentally select buy in the menu here, you'll find that you won't be able to close out of it just by using the B button. Instead, attempt to buy 99 potions and you'll be able to continue the encounter as normal. If the stats match up, congratulations, save the game and it's time to trade it to Gen 2. However, as a word of warning, you still have the 44YPC item in your inventory, so it's best to keep the item menu closed. So now that we're at the end of the tutorial part of the video, I would like to thank you so very much for watching. If I see anyone else doing any of these 3 hunts, it would honestly be the best feeling in the world. This video has taken about 300 hours of research and about 30 hours of putting it all together, and as you can probably tell from the skewed pacing of the video, I'm not very good at editing. This will probably be the longest video I ever make on this channel, and the video is not over yet. Here, I'm going to showcase some interesting or funny outcomes of messing with the text pointer slot. I hope you enjoy. First off, we have an epic song, followed by a very unique game crash. Up next, we have a sign that just wants us to press B and move on. Most of these results end in a game crash, which deletes your save file. However, sometimes they're polite. Struggling to find someone to dance with? Try 26 hyper potions. Next, we find out that the Pokemon League's Bruno was a sign all along. We also don't send out any Pokemon, so we are forced to forfeit. And lastly, something that's not that interesting, but made me laugh a lot.